Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshuru-militam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Translation. The great sage Narada continued, just see how Dhruva Maharaj, aggrieved at the harsh words of his stepmother, went to the forest at the age of only 5 years and under my direction underwent austerity. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead is unconquerable, Dhruva Maharaj defeated him with the specific qualifications possessed by the Lord's devotees. Purport: the Supreme Godhead is unconquerable. No one can conquer the Lord, but He voluntarily accepts subordination to the devotional qualities of His devotees. For example, Lord Krishna accepted subordination to the control of Mother Yashoda because she was a great devotee. The Lord likes to be under the control of His devotees. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita it is said that everyone comes before the Lord and offers Him exalted prayers. But the Lord does not feel as pleased when offered such prayers as He does when a devotee out of pure love chastises him as a subordinate. The Lord forgets His exalted position and willingly submits to His pure devotee. Dhruva Maharaj conquered the Supreme Lord because at a very tender age, only 5 years old, he underwent all the austerities of devotional service. This devotional service was, of course, executed under the direction of a great sage, Narada. This is the first principle of devotional service. Adau Gurvashrayam. In the beginning, one must accept a bona fide spiritual master. And if a devotee follows strictly the direction of the spiritual master, as Dhruva Maharaj followed the instruction of Narada Muni, then it is not difficult for him to achieve the favor of the Lord. The sum total of devotional qualities is development of unalloyed love for Krishna. This unalloyed love for Krishna can be achieved simply by hearing about Krishna. Lord Chaitanya accepted this principle, that if one in any position submissively hears the transcendental message spoken by Krishna or about Krishna, then gradually he develops the quality of unalloyed love, and by that love only he can conquer the unconquerable. The Mayavadi philosophers aspire to become one with the Supreme Lord, but a devotee surpasses that position. Not only does a devotee become one in quality with the Supreme Lord, but he sometimes becomes the father, mother, or master of the Lord. Arjuna also, by his devotional service, made Lord Krishna his chariot driver. He ordered the Lord, "Put my chariot here," and the Lord executed his order. These are some examples of how a devotee can acquire the exalted position of conquering the unconquerable. Here at Srila Prabhupada's Mayapur Chandrodaya Mandir, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's who is Mayapur Chandra, at his temple, we're discussing subject very dear to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the pastimes of Dhruva Maharaj. Of course, we generally hear that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would hear about the feelings of Radha for Krishna, but that's also stated in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would take great pleasure in hearing from the Srimad Bhagavatam about Dhruva Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj. So this temple of Mayapur Chandra, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You see on one side there is the place where of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's bhajan, Swananda Sukhada Kunji, Godruma Dweep, and from that was his place of worship, and he saw from there the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and established the worship of Radha Madhava there, and gave that worship to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So pretty much right in the center between these two places of where our acharyas worshipped, Gaur Gadadhar and Radha Madhava, is the temple of Mayapur Chandrodaya, the rising moon of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And just as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would hear from Gadadhar Pandit the pastimes of Dhruva and Prahlad, so we're discussing that here in this place, safely sheltered between our acharyas on each side and Srila Prabhupada guiding us here, and Narad Muni guiding us here. In this verse, Narad Muni gives the essence of the whole pastime of Dhruva Maharaj. This is included here, and obviously we're reading Srimad Bhagavatam. There are many, many pastimes of Krishna and his devotees which are recorded in the Puranas, in the Mahabharata and Ramayana. Obviously they're not all included in Srimad Bhagavatam. Some are included in Srimad Bhagavatam. Even we'll find that some of the pastimes of the Lord and his devotees, they're given in more detail in other Puranas. But Vyasadeva here in this Srimad Bhagavatam, which we have presently in this world at this time, of course Srimad Bhagavatam is unlimited. How many shlokas are there in Srimad Bhagavatam? We're told 18,000, but there may be unlimited verses because Srimad Bhagavatam is the pastimes of Krishna and his devotees. So even if we take one verse and one word from Srimad Bhagavatam, that expands into millions of verses because it's all unlimited. But this essence, the point that here, Dhruva Maharaj, why Dhruva Maharaj has been included here? That he did the Ye prayasham jita jito apitais trilokyam. He did that which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he accepted as the beginning of real spiritual life. Of actual spiritual life begins with hearing about Krishna from Narad Muni and devotees like Narad Muni. That famous verse is there, Jnane prayasamudapasya namanta eva. That one should stop thinking by one's own effort that one can do anything. By acquisition of knowledge, one can achieve success, but becoming humble, jivanti sanmukharitam bhavadiyavartam. Hearing about you in this case means Krishna, hearing about you, spending your life hearing about Krishna from pure devotees, sthane stita, shruti-gatang tanuvang manobe, ye prayasho jititito apitais trilokya. One who does that, even without changing his position, if he dedicates himself, mind, body and words to the service of Krishna, he can conquer Krishna, who is unconquerable. This is the mystery of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is what gives rise to rasa. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, we're introduced to the tattva of Krishna. Who is Krishna? Krishna himself, he explains himself in Bhagavad-gita. And practically the whole of the Bhagavad-gita is summarized in the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. The topics of Krishna. The whole Bhagavad-gita is to lead to Krishna. In the end, Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakta, think of me, become my devotee. So the whole Bhagavad-gita leads to this. And who is that Krishna? He is explained in summary in the first verse of Bhagavatam. The second verse of Bhagavatam more clearly or elaborates further when there's no rubbish, garbage, nonsense here in Srimad Bhagavatam. If you want that, go somewhere else. But here, this is only for pure devotees. And then what will the pure devotees get from that? That is described in the third verse, that this is the book of rasa. The tattva, the knowledge of Krishna is there, and then the rasa, that mellow, that's translated as mellow, that which gives rise to a sense of wonder, constant wonder, that is rasa, which the devotees, they are enjoined to taste that rasa, which is dripping from Srimad Bhagavatam, flowing. One drop can drown the whole world, but there are rivers of nectar flowing from Srimad Bhagavatam. So what is that rasa, that adbhuta, that wonder, that sense of wonder, that hinges on Krishna? He is the source of all rasa. He is rasa. Rasovai saha. He is rasa. The supreme absolute truth is tasty, according to Shruti. That he is supreme, but he becomes subordinate to his devotees. This is the wonderful fact, which is not understandable by any logic. Krishna, he's like that. He's the supreme person in all respects. He's the supreme powerful, supreme famous, supreme beautiful, but supreme renowned, supreme knowledgeable, supreme anything we can think of. He's the supreme cheat. He's the supreme lusty. He's the supreme thief. He's the most moral. He's the most immoral. Everything. Yeah. Krishna is supreme in everything. Whatever he does, he's an extremist. He's not a bland person who just tries to blend in with everything. Not at all. He doesn't like blending. We don't like blending. That's becoming one. No blending. Krishna's unique. Everyone's unique. Krishna's the supreme unique. But the most wonderful thing about Krishna is that although he's supreme, Srila Prabhupada often writes that he agrees to become subordinate to his devotees. So how is it that a devotee, some woman in the village, here you can go down to Hulaghat, or there's so many villages all around here, and just go in the village and see the village women, and they may not be very cultured or high class. They're ordinary people. Actually, they're ordinary people. They're actually people. Whereas, I don't know, in modern people, I don't know if they're people at all. I mean, in the villages, at least they're actual people. You know, they live like to some extent like human beings. Anyway, we're getting off the subject here. So we wouldn't think that what some ordinary woman in the village, Yashoda Mai is something like that. Of course, she's Vrajeshwari. She's the queen of all the cowherd women of Vraja. But I mean the queen of the cowherds. I mean, After all, they're cowherd people. There's a lot of difference between being the queen of Dwarka and the queen of Vraja. One position is famous, respectable, powerful, and the queen of a few cows. Well, it's quite a lot of cows, but anyway, it's not considered very important socially. But that's what Krishna likes. He likes to be subordinate to an insignificant village woman. And not only Yashoda Mai, but all the women. One of the first disciples of Srila Prabhupada, he gave him the name Striyadhish, which means the Lord of all women. But Krishna himself is especially Striyadhin. He becomes under the control of women or anyone. The whole Bhagavad-gita, you go through all these shastras, then you finally, Atato Brahma Jignasa, finally, after many lifetimes of going up to the heavenly planets, coming down, doing some more sacrifices, going up again, coming down, going up, coming down, making a mistake, going down to hell, coming up again, going up. And finally, inquire into the absolute truth. And then, Bahunam Janmanamante Gyanavam, after many, many lifetimes, you finally realize that Krishna is supreme and surrender to Him. You finally get it after millions and millions of lifetimes. Then go through Vedanta Sutra. Then you finally come Atato Brahma Jignasa. Then Jamatyasa Yataha. The Supreme is the source of everything, the maintainer of everything, the controller of everything, the destroyer of everything. And then finally come to Srimad Bhagavatam, and after going through all of that, after millions of lifetimes, and finally understanding that Krishna is the supreme controller, you finally get a little look into Vrindavan and find that Krishna is dancing, little boy Krishna is dancing because the elderly gopis are singing and clapping their hands. And he's becoming subordinate to them. So this gives rise to rasa, that Krishna, he is unconquerable, is completely absurd and bizarre and foolish to think that Krishna can be conquered. When Paundraka, he sent a message to Krishna, that Krishna, actually I am Vasudeva and you are imitating, and you better be careful, otherwise I'm going to kill you with my Sudarshan disc. And then everyone in Dwarka, they had a lot of fun. They were rolling around on the ground, holding their bellies, laughing. Maybe they weren't rolling around on the ground, because in Dwarka you have to be a little maintain the protocol. Anyway, they're having a good laugh, and then of course, what happened, Paundraka almost got the story right, but just he got the characters in the wrong place. It was his head that got cut off by the real Vasudeva. So it's not possible to conquer Krishna. That's the whole point. That everyone in this material world, Ishvaro aham bhogi, I am the controller, I am the enjoyer. And finally come to understand, no, you're not the controller. You get smashed by tsunami, earthquake, hurricanes, floods, so many ways. Cancer, or just die in your sleep, whatever. We're all conquered by death. Krishna in the form of death conquers everyone. It's not possible to conquer him. So many fools came and considered themselves, I am the Lord of the earth. Everyone is subordinate to me. How many great kings have there been, whose names are now just forgotten? Millions and millions. Here in this land, so many great kings have come and gone. Some of them are remembered. Krishna Naga, one king called Krishna, he put his name, so he's remembered. So Nawab Hussain Shah got remembered by the grace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Otherwise, just a few historians would know his name. Jyoti Basu came and went. He was the ex-chief minister of West Bengal. You don't know, you never heard of him. But in West Bengal, his name is very famous. So he's dead, and I won't make any comment because it's dangerous to do so. Now there's another, Buddha Dev, the present chief minister, will probably get thrown out in the upcoming elections. They come and go. So many great kings come and go. It's the illusion to think, I am such a great person. I am such a... Look at this seat. You can get giddy climbing up here. So, I'm sitting on a big seat here. Gaur-Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj said that so many people, they climb up on a high seat, and having climbed up there, they simply pass through. That was his preaching. So, dangerous, sitting on a big seat. It's a long way down. But Krishna never falls down. Krishna is called Achyuta. Never falls down. Ajita. He's unconquerable. So that the whole, the devotees, they're preaching, going out, distributing Bhagavad-gita as it is, just discussing every day Bhagavad-gita, just to understand this point. Krishna is supreme. We are not the controllers. We are not important. We are very small. Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. We are very small. He is very great. And one day we might just realize that, well, actually, I'm not God. Krishna is. We might just get it someday. Then, having got it, then we come to this, that there's something more to be said. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would always ask Ramananda Rai, something more, tell something more. Even when he came to this verse, that the Supreme is conquered by his devotees, then again, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted. Okay, eho hoy, that's great, that's good. Tell me, aage kaho, tell some more. And he went on, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu probing deeper, until we came to the full manifestation of how Krishna is conquered by his devotees. But that's not, even in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that's discussed to some extent. It's very deep topic, that topic of Gita Govinda. One scholar in Europe asked Prabhupada about Gita Govinda, the intimate feelings of Krishna for Radha and Radha for Krishna. Prabhupada said, that is for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's for him. He would relish that. So we may also relish, once we stop trying to relish the taste of this material world, the jara rasa, the dull, dead rasa, the rasa of birth, death, old age and disease, the rasa of enjoying dead, smelly bodies, then we can begin to enter or begin to appreciate what is the rasa that impelled Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Raso Vai Saha. He is rasa. He is the, what is that? Akhila rasa? Akhila Rasamrita Murti. He is the very form of all rasas. But he himself was impelled to give up being Krishna and become Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Not, of course, he is always Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. To find out, to relish what is that rasa, that the feelings that Radha feels for him. So this Srimad Bhagavatam, that's pointing toward that Dhruva Maharaj, he captured Krishna. Krishna is unconquerable, but Dhruva Maharaj, he conquered Krishna. How did he do that? It appears to be by severe austerities, but not exactly that. Here, tad bhakto gunai parajitam. Krishna, stated here, he is conquered by the qualities of his devotees. So it wasn't exactly the austerity in and of itself, but the determination to attain Krishna. Now, that verse that Gyane prayasamudapasya namanta eva. Dhruva Maharaj, that verse says that giving up the endeavor for knowledge, one should become very humble. Dhruva Maharaj, he didn't appear to be very humble. He was extremely ambitious. I mean, some people are ambitious to start their own business. Some people are ambitious to conquer the world, like Alexander the Great or someone like that. He'll also be forgotten in due course of time. Hitler, Napoleon, great conquerors, but Dhruva Maharaj, he wanted a kingdom greater than that of even Brahma, who oversees the whole universe. He was extremely ambitious for a little boy. Wasn't very humble. And even when Narada said to Dhruva that, look, okay, you ran out of your house, but after all, you're a little boy, and stop being a little boy and be a good boy and just go back home and forget all this idea. And Dhruva said, you're telling me to forget it? Well, I'm telling you to forget it. If you can help me get my kingdom, okay. If not, see you later. So he was Dhruva. Dhruva means determination, fixity, certainty. His name is synonymous. Just like Bali, his name is synonymous with sacrifice, offering, self-sacrifice. Dhruva, he was so fixed and determined. He had such faith that his mother said, who can help? In this situation, who can help me? Dhruva had asked. Well, I guess only God can help you. That's a saying, isn't it? I guess in every language. That at least we were just discussing about Thailand, not in Thailand because they don't believe in God, right? But in any language of the world, apart from Thai and some other Buddhist countries, if something's impossible, then you say that, well, maybe you can do it if God helps you. Only if God helps you. It means it's something impossible. So, how can Dhruva, how can I get a kingdom? Even to get the kingdom of his father, it was impossible. Because his father was under the grip of Suruchi instead of Suniti. Suruchi means that which is attractive, that which is pleasing. He was overcome by that which is pleasing instead of Suniti, that which is proper to do. These names they have, Suniti means good morals, good behavior. So he'd lost his sense. He'd lost his sense. And he was simply attracted by the beauty and charm of his other wife, younger wife. So even to get that kingdom of his father, Uttanappa, it was impossible. So Who can help me? Well, only God can help you. Means nothing can be done. But Dhruva didn't take it like that. He said, okay, where's God? I don't know, I guess the yogis, they go to the forest to find him. He must be in the forest. So then Dhruva just took off to the forest. He didn't take it that it's impossible. He was determined. It must be done. I'm going to find God and I'm going to get the kingdom. Whatever has to be done, I'm going to do it. And Narada came, seeing this. Narada, he has his senses ready for anyone who's, even if there's any slight chance of them being Krishna conscious, he'll find them out. Any young boys going for austerities, Daksha send them. Narad says, hey, you know what? You can go back to Godhead with these austerities. Why hang around in this material world? So send them all back to Godhead. And then again Daksha sent more, and he sent them all back to Godhead. So Narad, he came. Said, oh, you're looking for Vishnu. Okay, very good. Well, no, first of all he tested. And Dhruva, is he really ready to do that? A little boy, 5-year-old boy. Is he really ready for that? To find Vishnu? Which there are so many yogis, after many millions of lives, they don't find Vishnu. Is he really going to do that? Dhruva, yeah, I'm going to do it, whatever. So he got the order. Dhruva got the order from Narada. And by the mercy of Narada, that's the factor. Narada, he says here, Narada, he followed my instruction. That was the good quality of Dhruva. That was his humility. He was willing to take guidance. He took guidance from Narada Muni. And though even in the beginning, he was not, his bhakti was not pure devotion to Krishna. He had some material desire. It was not a haituki. It was haituki bhakti. He had some personal desire. But it was definitely a pratihata. It was unstoppable. There's no one was going to stop it. So Narada gave him the instruction. And Dhruva took that very seriously. The determination to follow the order of Narada Muni and to find Vishnu. So by the mercy of Narada, he attained pure devotional service. That Narada, he doesn't state that. Actually, it's by his mercy. By the mercy of Narada. Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. It's not that by one's own effort. Of course, that's also that. But the bij, but the entrance into bhakti is given by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. It's not something that one can attain simply by one's own effort. The bij, that's the catalyst which triggers brings to life the Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema. Shadha Kabuna, that pure love for Krishna is established in everyone's heart. And it's not that by any effort one can bring that about, that one can, the pure devotion to Krishna. It's not something that one brings about, but Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Karya. That may seem contradictory, that it's not by any effort that one can attain pure devotion to Krishna. But then Shravanadi, it comes about by Shravan. So one does something. One hears. Shravanadi, hearing, chanting, serving, so many things. But the vital ingredient in all of that is the mercy of the pure devotees. Here Narad Muni, first of all, giving the proper direction. That's his mercy, that he gives the proper direction. And by following that, Dhruva Maharaj, showing his great seriousness to execute the order of Narad Muni, conquered Krishna. Krishna came, and came before Dhruva, at which point Dhruva, he thought, oh, what a fool I am. I wanted something insignificant. And now it seemed that Dhruva wanted, if you try to think of what could be the greatest material boon possible, that Dhruva Maharaj, he thought of it, a kingdom greater than his grandfather's. Manu, Brahma, his forefathers. So he had a great material ambition. His ambition was similar to that of another member of his family, Hiranyakashipu. Similar ambition. Hiranyakashipu fulfilled his ambition apparently by his own effort, but in defiance of Krishna. And ultimately he was destroyed by Krishna. Whereas Dhruva Maharaj, he had the same ambition, but he fulfilled it under the direction of Narada Muni. And he realized that this is all useless. This is all useless. Everything in this material world, simply useless. So what he actually attained by the mercy of Narada Muni was that he was able to conquer Krishna by love. Krishna, who is unconquerable, cannot be conquered. But he's conquered by the love of his devotees. So this is the entrance into accepting this point. That is the entrance into Srimad Bhagavatam. That is the entrance into what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to give, Unatajvala Rasa, that topmost resplendent rasa, that just begins, the entrance to that is just taking this point, that Krishna, first we should try to understand how great is Krishna. We cannot understand fully, but some idea, what he explains in Bhagavad-gita. Aham sarvasya prabhava mata sarvang pravartate mata parataram nanya aham adir hi devanam. How great is Krishna. And then come to this point that the greatest of his greatnesses is that he becomes subordinate to his devotees. First we have to understand how great is Krishna, then this greatness, how he becomes subordinate to his devotees. And Krishna himself, I don't have time now, but Krishna himself says, Prabhupada here says on behalf of Krishna, that Krishna, where is that? No, I'm not finding it now. Anyway, Krishna just forgets that he's supreme. So, it's not that Krishna, he's thinking, well, actually I'm the Supreme Lord, but I'm just playing and pretending to be subordinate to Mother Yashoda. It's not like that. But he is the son of Mother Yashoda. Mother Yashoda thinks, if I don't feed Krishna, he will starve. And Krishna thinks, if my mother doesn't feed me, I'll starve. Why isn't she feeding me? She was in the middle of feeding me and she ran off. Why did she run off for? That's Damodar Leela. Why did she run away? Krishna became very upset. Anyone can feed Krishna, but he's thinking, only she can feed me. She must feed me. Why is she not feeding me? Krishna feeds the whole world. He can take anything from anywhere, but he feels Mother Yashoda is not feeding. He becomes upset. Why is she not feeding me? He becomes totally dependent on her. So this is an extremely exalted subject, which we are here, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, to discuss. That's what we come here for. To chant hear about Krishna. Krishna everywhere, all over the world, we have to preach. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But especially in the holy places of Mayapur and Vrindavan, among ourselves, we can cultivate among ourselves how Krishna is the son of Mother Yashoda, the son of Nanda, the lover of Radha, he is subordinate to Radha. Aho bhagyam, Nanda Gopa Vrajokasam. What is that verse? How does that go? Yan mitram paramanandam purnam brahma sanatanam. How fortunate are Nanda Maharaj and the residents of Vrindavan. Because the supreme absolute truth has become is living with them as their friend and well-wisher. There are so many verses in Srimad Bhagavatam. What is that? Nyayang Sukhapo Bhagavan. How does that verse go? Nyayang Sukhapo Bhagavan? No, I'm not remembering it now. Dehinam Gopika Sutaha. I forgot it. Lebhire. Prasadam lebhire gopya. Yatat. Anyway, I forgot the Sanskrit. But anyway, the purport is that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, He's not available, understandable, or in any way, He's completely beyond, no idea, persons who are interested in bodily enjoyment. But Mother Yashoda, He's completely subordinate to her. No, actually I was thinking of another verse. Anyway, there are so many verses, but my brain is blank. So, Hare Krishna. We'll finish there. Hare Krishna. 9 o'clock is the finishing time. Huh? Alright, so Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Alright, that's it. Lights off. End of the performance. Time to exit the cinema.